Untap Upkeep, and welcome back to the channel if you've been here before, and if you haven't, then please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show that I have for you today. So, for today, I'm not really going to go over so much a deck tech per se, but I'm going to go over a couple of things that inspired me from my latest experience at my local game store. Shout out to Green Brothers Comics. Um, a lot of people know I have fairly powerful, fairly strong decks. And a lot of my decks here lately are more on the janky side because I've had a personal challenge to make a lot of decks that have dragon-centric themes to them. Either it's a whole bunch of dragon tribal, or it is, at the very least, a dragon as the commander. Some of them work really good, some of them not so good. Nature of the beast. Can I build decks that are way bigger, badder, stronger? Absolutely. Been doing it for so long, I have such a vast collection. I can do that. That's not what I went for. So the purpose for today's video, and I just picked one of the decks that I'm very well known for using at my local game store. This list has not been updated in a while, but I wanted to talk about the difference between having a very powerful card and then playing said powerful card. Because I think some people get that confused as meaning the deck is really, really good. In certain builds, yes, that does track. And something like my Rift deck, for instance, that we're looking at right now, it doesn't necessarily track. So if you've never seen Rift, go back and watch my budget build of Rift that I have on the channel. I might even link the link for that in the description below. Excuse me. So Rith is one of the older dragons that says for 3 red and white and a green, we get a 6/6 flying dragon. Now, whenever Rith deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 2 and a green. And if you do, you choose a color and put a number of 1/1 green support creature tokens into play for each permanent of that color. Now, that's important because Rith checks everything on the battlefield, okay? So this is a get Rith out as fast as possible, protect Rith, smash face, make an army, and theoretically win the next turn if the army's big enough, depending on what interaction's been going on the board. I have lots of card draw, lots of token enablers, all those things, but something that a lot of people might automatically assume is good would be Craterhoof Behemoth and Moonshaker Cavalry. Yes, they are amazing, powerful, back-breaking cards. But you need more than just a back-breaking card. You need something that enables it to be that backbreaker. So in this case, for both Craterhoof and Moonshaker Cavalry, you want to have a board presence. If you don't have a board presence, forget it. So, like if I went to cast Craterhoof Behemoth, for instance, and you nuked my board, or if I went to go fetch it, and you nuked my board right before I could play it, Craterhoof Behemoth is no longer a powerful card. He's just a big beat stick, a big dummy. And I'll probably post this updated deck list at some point. But I felt like going over some things that make a deck strong are different than the things that make it good. In this situation, I have a lot of ways to protect my battlefield, such as Clever Concealment, Heroic Intervention, Flawless Maneuver, Boros Charm. I've got a couple of ways to keep my battlefield safe from any kind of potential board wipe that could come my way. I even have the One Ring in this deck so that I can hopefully go off the next turn without fear of dying if I'm set up properly. This is one of my fun decks that I enjoy playing at my local game store. A lot of people get very spooked by it. I have dropped Rith as early as turn 3 and have started going to town on people. So they have rights to fear that. Another fun thing is, let's just go back to like our homepage. let's just type in Krenko. So Krenko is notoriously known for being a powerful card. Um, Actually, I just built this for another person at my local game store. He knows who he is. He loves what I do, and he kind of agrees I'm a terrible person. But let's look at another powerful card, Balin the Haymaker. So Balin is from the Bloomburrow set, and it is arguably extremely powerful. So you can tap 2 untapped tokens you control to add 1 mana, make it 3 of them to draw a card. If you make it 4, you get 3/1/1 counters on Balin, and he gains trample until end of turn. So you could do all of these at any point in time. They are instant speed, and by the way, it does not matter if it's creature tokens. It does not matter if it's clues, treasures, whatever. They don't gain that ability, so they don't have to have haste. They are unaffected by summoning sickness when you're using them for Balin's ability, because you're paying a cost to Balin. So it does not matter if it's a 0/1 Eldrazi spawn token you just made. It does not have to have haste because you're not tapping it for its own ability. You're tapping it for Balin's ability. And that is a very big difference. Balin is in a color wedge that goes infinite, really, really easy. It's really, really strong. But he's only strong with help. He has to have something to back him up. And if you don't have something to back him up, he's not that strong. Good lord, this person's got 34 creatures. A lot of what's in here is what I've included in the deck I built for our good friend. This is actually one of the cards I wanted to look at was Krenko Mob Boss. Very powerful goblin. I have to go back in through my deck list real quick to show you, but I actually have a full-blown, what I would consider CEDH version of Krenko Mob Boss, and it can slap. It can hit hard. Excuse me. But it's not without help. Kiki-Jiki, Mirror Breaker. Popular, famous, well-known combo machine. Absolutely backbreaking. But he needs some help to go infinite. In fact, I don't see anything in here that goes infinite with him. That's odd. You're just having Krenko in here as like a value piece, really? Well, that doesn't make any sense. I would definitely be doing like infant combo with Kiki-Jiki if he's in the deck, but that's just me, I guess. So let's go further down into their list here. They have Winota, which is a game changer piece. Don't really think you need it, to be honest. They're really, really low on their sorceries and instances. They're kind of wonky the more I'm looking at this deck, but you know, to each their own. It may work just fine. It may not. 36 lands is a good number. So that's another setup for something that can be backbreaking, you know. Excuse me, running on what hours of sleep here. So let's look at Force of Will. One of the most sought after, basically free counter magic spells in the format, in Commander, in Legacy, in Vintage. It is very, very sought after because it's very, very powerful. So you can either pay the total mana cost of 3 a blue, or if you're tapped out, or you don't want to tap out, you can pay 1 life and exile a blue card from your hand rather than pay the spell's mana cost and just straight up counter a spell. Now, in this situation, this is a very good, powerful card. But it all falls back to you have to know what you're doing. So you can have this in your hand, unless you have that blue card in hand as well. The free option is off the table. You can't do it. So it is a little bit restrictive. There's not a lot of cards in the game that are just inherently, OMG, this thing just wins games. A lot of them need a little bit of help, and more importantly, you need to know what you're doing. So let's look at Krenko again real quick. So with Krenko, the mob boss, he allows us to make goblins where X is going to be the number of goblins we control. So if he's our only goblin, we tap him, we make a 1/1 goblin. Then the next turn we make 2 goblins. Then the next turn and next turn, and you can see where this goes. What a lot of people don't know is there's a couple of ways to go infinite with Krenko. Pardon me. One of the more fun things is where is oh blasting station can go very, very well with it. You can start pinging the table down little by little. I'm sure there's a way to go infinite with that if I actually just spent more time on it. Where is and this is, I guess, the advantage that some people have of me being around the area is my knowledge of cards. So this is Sting, the Glinting Dagger. It's from the Lord of the Rings set, and it used to be a lot more on the expensive side. As you can see, it's very, very budget friendly, I believe, at $2. You can get one of these with some store credit. I mean, trade in like $5 or $10 dragon that's going to be stupid hot right now, and you can get this card. So you can equip it for 2. It costs 2 to play. And if you've never done an equip, you literally just you pay 2 mana to have it on the battlefield. You pay 2 more mana, and you put it either underneath, on top, however you want to display it, with whatever creature you're trying to do. So in this example, we're going to give it to go away, message. We don't want you. You're not magic. The nerve of HP. Can y'all believe that? Anyways, so in this case, we're going to equip this to Krenko, okay? So now Krenko gets a +1/+1 and has haste. Great. It means we can use his ability ASAP. And then at the beginning of each combat, untap the equipped creature. The last part we might become relevant. We don't really care. So I want you all to pay attention to this. At the beginning of each combat, this means all of our players, including ourselves, we are going to untap this goblin. So we tap him on our main phase, make a goblin. Move to combat. He untaps. Tap him again. Now we have 2 goblins. Plus the 2 we already had if you include Krenko in our token. We're up to 4 goblins. Pass our turn. Krenko, Magical Christmas Land, Krenko's never going to be interacted with, okay? Just bear with me. So, goes to our opponent's turn. Krenko's still tapped. They go from main phase, and they go, well, I'm just going to go to basically pass my turn. I've got nothing to do. You can go, okay, hold on. Time out. Because what people don't know is even if you're not doing anything, so let's say our opponents are like, well, pass, I got nothing. They drew a land, played a land, and they just did land go. Well, you can say, hold on a minute. As you're passing through your turn, when you go through combat, I'm going to untap Krenko. And you can either tap him again right then and there, or you can leave him untapped, and you can go, okay, Joe, it's your turn. Joe kind of does a similar thing. Maybe he drops a mana rock or something and goes to pass the turn. You go, okay, hold on. At the end of main phase 1, I'm going to tap Krenko. So now Krenko's going to make me 8 goblins. When you go to combat, I'm going to untap Krenko. Now we can go through the next turn. Sarah, your turn. She goes, draws, plays a few things, and it's not going to do attack either. You can say, okay, at the end of before you exit main phase 1, I would like to tap Krenko. He's going to make me 16 goblins. Go to combat. Untap Krenko. Now we can go to my turn. Excuse me. Blech. And that's a interaction people don't realize. Just because I draw, land, go, that doesn't mean anything. It could mean I have absolutely nothing, and it could mean, I'm holding up counter magic or a ways to stop you. But what people also don't understand is just because I go land go, that doesn't mean there is no combat, there is no main phase, there is no end step. You still go through each phase, it's just you've got nothing to do. No attacks, no whatever, or you're choosing not to attack, you're choosing not to do something. And that's something that people overlook with something like Sting. You you have to help teach people, especially new players, to slow down. And it's something I've had to learn, especially the past handful of years. You don't just automatically get to play this thing, do this thing, and ta-da, here's the big dumb scary dragon. Here's the big dumb Eldrazi. Everything has an opportunity for people to do something within reason. Land abilities don't use the stack, but something like this does, because it says at the beginning of each combat you get to untap the creature that this is equipped with. Excuse me. So that means even if I don't go to a combat phase, if your Krenko is tapped, you still get to untap your Krenko. And then you can tap him anytime. Because his ability is a tap ability, as long as he is not affected by summoning sickness, you can use him on everybody else's turn. It doesn't say once per turn, and it doesn't say only on your turn. So you can use him on every other player's turn and make your army huge. It's just another fun way that people don't know how cards work, and this is kind of what the video is. So let's look at this one. Found one Moxfield work with me here. Okay, there we go. Pulled it up. Great. So this is not just revival. You typically see it in your higher power CEDH level decks for obvious reasons. We can either pay a green mana or 2 life to get this card at instant speed to do what we need. And it's very simple. Put target card from a graveyard on top of its owner's library. Not much to it, guys. Guys, gals, there's not much to it. It's very, very simple, very, very basic, right? Hold on a minute. Go on a ride with me. So, let's say somebody's trying to win with like Laboratory Jace or Laboratory Maniac, something along those lines. It doesn't work with Thassa's Oracle. You need more for Thassa's Oracle, but you could put a card from the graveyard back on top of their deck. Even if they have no cards, now they can't win because there's a card there. When the ability goes to check, there's a card there. You don't win the game. They have to get rid of that card again. It's really, really nasty when somebody goes, I'm just going to reanimate this Jin-Gitaxias. Well, remember, you get priority as well as everybody else to respond to this on the stack. Now you know the spell, you know what the spell is targeting, so now you get a chance to go, do I really want you to have that? Do I really? You just had to discard it. It's only like turn 3 or 4 or 5 maybe. You're a ways away from actually hard casting that. That's why you discarded it. Your Reanimator deck, you want it in the graveyard. You want it back. But I don't think I want you to have that back. Don't think I do. So you can either try to bully everybody else to use their counterspell to stop that if they're playing blue and have a way to stop it. Or you could just bite the bullet and tell them, all right, guys, I need everybody to be cool because I'm going to help us out a little bit. I'm going to pay a green or 2 life, whichever one option you're trying to do, and I'm going to target your Jin-Gitaxias. Instead of getting him onto the battlefield, he's going back on top of your deck. That actually works the same as a counterspell, because now Reanimate says, hey, you targeted Jin-Gitaxias. Jin-Gitaxias isn't here. I'm just going to yeet myself to the grave. Bye. This is a multiple, versatile, powerful card that people don't necessarily understand how it works. This is not just a protect me, get whatever I need back. This is also you're going for the win, and I'm going to stop you because whatever you're trying to get from that graveyard or whatever you're trying to do with your library, I'm just going to stop that. So a real fun one is somebody's trying to go for something really broken and they use like Vampiric Tutor to go and find something, shuffle the deck, and put it on top. Well, in response to their upkeep, you can put a stop on their upkeep, so to say. If you're playing, like, if you can imagine Arena or Magic Online, you have a stop there, and you go, let me know when you go to upkeep. So before draw. Cool. Nocturne Survival. Put that land back on top of your deck. You don't get your combo piece. Screw you. You can do it. Nocturne Survival is one of those cards that I do like to show and point out to people because it's very, very broken, very, very powerful when you actually know what you're doing. If you're just using it to get a Llanowar Elf back or something, come on, guys, think bigger, badder, meaner. You could do so much more with this card. This is often seen as oh, well, my combo piece for A got destroyed or whatever early in the game, milled, discarded, however you want to put it. I'm going to get it back before my turn and go off. This also reads, you're trying to win the game and I don't want you to. Or, oh my god, you're trying to reanimate an Dragon from a Tiamat deck? No, can't have that. Put that back on top of the deck, big boy. Let's see you cast it. Those are your options that you can do with this card. But it's one of those powerful cards that, like I've said, people have a hard time grabbing of just what you could do with this. There's all sorts of things. I mean, there's anything like, let's see if that'll pull up. Yep. Like that. This was an older card that I was so happy to see get reprinted in Foundations. This is Time Stop. For a blue, you get an instant that says the absolute funniest thing ever. It ends the turn. What does that mean? This. You exile all spells, all abilities, including this spell. The player whose turn it is discards down to their maximum hand size, damage heals, and this turn and until end of turn effects end. All of it's removed. All of it's gone. Period. So, this is a hilarious card that you can save yourself from attacks. You could go, okay, cool. During your main phase, time stop. I'm going to end your turn. Simple as that. I'm ending the turn. You get to cast no more spells. You don't go to attacks. Nothing. You're done. And it's a great way that if you think your opponent has a way to come back from that, they don't. They're done. And now you get your turn to do your spooky, nasty thing. It is a freaking hilarious thing to do to somebody, especially somebody who has never, ever seen this card and has never, ever, ever gone through with it. It is hilarious. People just don't see it coming. And it's another powerful card. It also is really good because the way that it's worded, you exile all spells and abilities. So then any kind of like, well, I mean, it says it right there. Damage heals and this turn until end of turn effects end. So you could cause somebody to lose a game. You could cause somebody to have to discard down to their hand size if they have a max hand size. You can really screw the pooch with this one if you really played it now. This is usually a I'm going to end your turn to hurry and get to my turn kind of thing, but it can also be a piece that you hold up in your hand and just, you don't know, you might be ready that next turn to just go, you look like you're about to win the game, Buddha Dragon. How about a noob? Ain't nothing I can do about it. I mean, I might counter it. Maybe. But I'm sure the other players are chomping at the bit to stop me too. So they're not going to want to end the turn. They're just going to be like, yeah, fine, go ahead. So another example of a good and powerful card, if it's played correctly. You know, there's so much out there. Let's look at my boy Prosh. So Prosh is from like the second or third set of pre-con commanders that we had. This is my CEDH deck commander. I love Prosh. I think he's a powerful card. Probably not top tier CEDH, but he can hang. He can hang in most pods. Some pods, I mean, you ain't got a chance. If you don't have that turn 1 through 3 win, you're done. But anything that goes pretty late in the game, I think Prosh has a good shot at it. So this is my Prosh, Sky Raider of Kerr. He is 3, a black, and a red, and a green for a big old 5/5 flying Dargon. That says, whenever you cast a spell, create X 0/1 Kobold creature tokens named Kobolds of Pure Keep, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast it. It has flying. Sack another creature, it gets +1/+0. Okay, so in a vacuum, he's not like the spooky like he used to be. Still very powerful, can still be built in a multitude of ways, and can still slap the crap out of somebody. No doubt about it. He's typically seen with the food chain combo, and he hurts people. He makes people play very, very badly. He makes people bleed, and to me, it's fun. I love Prosh. But it depends on how you want to build him and how he runs. He's very big, very powerful, and yes, the X does include the commander tax. And it doesn't matter if he's countered, you still get those kobolds. So that's what makes him so good, in my opinion. He can one-shot somebody if you give him haste, or even haste and double strike. I mean, he can one-shot somebody with enough bodies on the board. If you got 16 or so creatures, you can let Prosh just munch on them left and right. I mean, somebody's dead, y'all. Just dead. If they have no way to stop Big Bad Prosh, they are. And Prosh is typically seen as a token commander strategy. For obvious reasons. I mean, he's a really good commander for that. And typically, he's seen with things like biscuits. He's typically seen with doubling season to double counters and tokens that enter our battlefield. He's seen with Parallel Lives, double all the tokens. So he has a lot of really good synergy that enable him to do what he's trying to do. But he's not that good on his own unless you really kind of angle it to that. And that's kind of what I'm explaining in this video of things can be really good, they can be really powerful, but unless you have a good strategy, if your deck's not well built, and more importantly, if you don't know what's going on, I mean, you're never going to get anywhere. I mean, pardon me. I mean, let's look at my actual CEDH Prosh list. If you don't know what you are looking at right here, this is just a pile of pretty cards that you're like, Buddha, that's great and all, but what are we doing? How do we win? Well, let me tell you. You can make infinite mana in about 3 or 4 different ways, and you could drain the whole table by 2 or 3 different ways. And that's how you're going to win the game. Is literally just saying no to everybody. You've got all the possible tutors that you possibly can have to help you find whatever we need to. You have ridiculous card draw, ways to stop people, amazing ramp. So you can literally look through this deck and kind of get an idea how he runs and go, oh, okay, we're cooking. We're doing some damage here. And yeah, Prosh is that powerful. But let's look at Zada. Zada the Hedron Grinder. Very underrated commander. I have seen one when it's been properly built, consistently can kill turn 5, turn 6. Very, very consistently. It was terrifying how consistent it was. Now, this has been a few years, so I don't know if she's still that good, but it was very, very bad. So Zada the Hedron Grinder is 3 in a red for a 3/3 goblin that reads, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Zada, copy that spell for each other creature you control that spell could target, and each copy targets a different one of those creatures. So that means if you play Crimson Wisp. Crimson Wisp is a 1-mana sorcery. If I remember correctly, it's a 1-mana red sorcery that says target creature gains haste, draw a card. Fine. But if you have 5 other creatures on the battlefield, including Zada, so a total of 6 bodies, you're going to draw 6 cards. Because if you target Zada, Zada says, cool, I was targeted with an instant or sorcery spell, and I was the only target. Copy it for the rest of the things you have on the battlefield. So everything else gets haste, and we draw 5 more free cards for 1 spell. When you have things like Soul's Fire, for instance, it doesn't work. Soul's Fire has 2 targets. You target a creature, and then you target a player. So those are very, very bad to put in Zada, because they're Nabo people. They don't work. There's 2 targets. So aside from that, Zada is terrifying. You have any way to draw cards and make mana in a Zada deck, you're going to kill somebody. Probably the whole table. I've seen it. It is horrible. It is nasty. And there wasn't really jack crap we could do about it. But the video for today just wanted to kind of go over a little bit of, just because you have some really amazing and powerful cards, that doesn't really mean anything. You have to know how to play them, when to play them, and how they actually work. And look for other little caveats that will make you go, wow, I didn't know they could do that. Because I'm still learning things like that. I'm still seeing cards, I'm going, you mean that can do that? Dude, you shouldn't have told me that. People are about to hate me. So, that's kind of what I wanted to go over for a little bit. Real quick, though, while it's on my screen right here, look at this new secret lair. Oh my, we are getting a Deadpool secret lair, and I'm so happy. I don't really care for the cards. They're okay. Saw in Half is pretty cool. So let's look at the actual card. So this is Deadpool trading card. As Deadpool enters, you may exchange his text box and another creature's. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 3 life. Pay 3, sack this creature. Each player draws a card. Okay, kind of neat, kind of cool. I don't know if I'm gonna buy this secret lair, but I like it. I think it's cool. I think it's funny. So there you go. We got a new secret lair alert. Shout out to the professor, who's probably screaming his head off right now. But yeah. So I just wanted to kind of go over a few caveats of the game that I got the idea from talking to the same person I made the Balin deck for. That just because a deck is powerful, just because a card is powerful, that doesn't really mean the deck works very well. You need to understand how it works, timing, and you need to always be open to look for a different angle. Just look for that other angle that can save you, like Notch of Survival, man. That card is so powerful and so versatile, but people often only do it just to get their one combo piece back or something, when you need to open your mind, guys, gals, non-binary, whatever you want to say. if you open your mind and just go, trying to win with that, are you? I saw what you tutored. By tutored, I mean you got something to put it on top of your deck. Be a shame if that wasn't the card you were fixing to draw. Maybe it was this land that you put in the graveyard turn 2. So be aware of your game. Ask questions. And don't be afraid to slow the game down a little bit and give yourself time to respond. It also doesn't hurt to give people the time to respond. There's nothing wrong playing this game and saying, okay, hold on. Do you have a response, Joe? Sarah, do you have anything? All right, cool. And if you have something, react. If you don't, and if it's not going to affect you, then don't react. But don't be afraid to do things like that. Don't be afraid to use your priority. Don't be afraid to go, okay, hold on, you're not just going to pass the turn. I'm going to do this on your end step or your main phase, before combat, after combat, whatever the situation is. Do not be afraid to do that. But do it in a proper way, use good etiquette, and, have fun playing this game, guys. I've been the Buddha Dragon, and I'm hoping that you're enjoying the channel. If you have another deck that you're wanting to build or you want to see me build, let me know in the comments below. Is there another tidbit of information about this game that you're having questions about, you don't quite understand? Leave me a comment. I'm dying to read them, and I'm dying to help you. I enjoy helping players. It's just something that makes me happy. And in my world, if I make you a better player, then I make myself a better player, because you can challenge me better. So yes, I enjoy it. Also, don't forget, like, share, comment, subscribe, leave me some love, and I'm hopefully going to continue to expand the channel. I'm looking at maybe setting up a Patreon if that is something that anybody is interested in supporting. I haven't quite figured out what we're going to do with Patreon, but we'll figure something out. I know that, I might do a tier for like a literal budget live build, where either I'm going, I've got an idea where I want to do this, so we'll see how this works out. But yeah, talk to me, guys, gals, talk to me. What do you want to see? What do you think will be good? What do you think will be a new deck that you're working on, or that you want to see? Let me know. Let me know. Show me some love. Please don't forget, like, share, spread the word. Help me grow. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for everybody that already has. I've been the Buddha Dragon. Don't forget, rub that belly for mana, and may all your games be filled with luck. Until the next time, have at it.